We've been using Enterprise Ian to support our startup workshops for a number of years. And the thing that we really like about Ian is that he is like a breath of fresh air. He's not what you expect. I've been to so many startup seminars, workshops where, considering what we're talking about is entrepreneurial people, there's an awful lot of grey suits around that you just don't associate with young, thriving business. So the most important thing I love about Ian is that he's completely unexpected. He walks into this room with his wonderfully Scottish accent and sense of humour, his quirky dress, sometimes his yellow Mohican, and just completely unsettles the audience because that's not what they're expecting in any way, shape or form. And what I like about that is it just opens people's minds. They start to expect the unexpected. And I think that's one of the most important traits in an entrepreneur, is to be able to expect the unexpected and to change your idea, change the way that you're going to work, respond and react. We love working with Enterprise Ian.
And what impact do you think that has on the future businesses to be able to expect the unexpected in the way that he gets them to do?
I think the reality of setting up and starting a business is one that, many entrepreneurs come in with a very set idea of what they want to do. And that's usually they want to do the thing that they love doing or they feel they're really good at doing. The reality then kicks in that actually what you've got to do to run a successful business is to make sure there's a market for what you do. And quite often that market is not the market that you think it is. It's not a mass market. You're not going to end up selling to everybody. You've got to really work out what your niche and what your specialism is. And I think having the approach that Ian has of expect the unexpected, and look at different ways of doing things. What Ian manages to do with people is kind of cuts to the core of their idea, and challenges them immediately around that idea, which sometimes can make their hearts drop like a stone, but then he has this brilliant ability to build them back up and get them to think about other routes, other angles, other potential audiences for what they're really passionate about.
And what effect do you think he's had on you personally in the way you look at business as well?
I consider Ian to be a great enterprise friend. Whenever we're designing a new program or something significant happens in the market, I'll always pick up the phone to Ian and have a chat because he'll always have a different spin or a different view of it. And I think that's the thing that Ian brings. Ian brings energy, a different perspective, not what you're expecting, entertainment always. He has what I call the Marmite effect. Some people love him, some people just do not know how to take him, but most importantly he's challenging in a really positive way.
One of his key messages is about having that big conversation long time before you start creating your business plan. The big conversation, or I call it the useful conversation. You should be having that not just at the beginning but at every stage of your business's development, because it's very easy to go down a track and get caught up in your own self-belief, that people are going to love this, people are going to want it. If you're not constantly
getting the views of others, checking in with your customers, checking in with, your business friends. I'm not talking about family, but I'm talking about, those enterprise friends around you, your peers that are also running businesses, people like Ian who've been there, seen it, done it, worn the t-shirt, and has got a different take on it. You've got to make sure you're constantly having those conversations.
He's also keen on the shock that people need to in some point in their journey. What do you think it does to people when they suddenly realise they've got to have that shock?
Yeah, I love the shock. I like to call it a light bulb moment, because it's that point where people realise that they've either got to make a change or take an action, because enterprise is scary, and sometimes you've got to be really bold and brave and take those decisions and take some action. And I think sometimes when there's a lot of uncertainty around your product or a market and whether it's going to work, people start to procrastinate. So what Ian's very good at is to stop people procrastinating, give them that shock, and actually make sure that they're going to take a positive step forward. Whether it's, sometimes that shock might be, this isn't ever going to work, don't do it, don't take that risk, go and do something else. That sometimes that's a shock that just drives some action or behaviour. But often Ian's shock is a good one. It's one that people go, oh my God, I hadn't thought about it like that, or this could really work. But shocks are good because they drive a change in behaviour.